Hey, I'm Zugwar, and welcome to Let's Try to Survive This War of Mine. This game is a RPG-esque set in a war-torn country torn apart by civil war. You play as a group of survivors that are trying to make it to the end of the civil war. Personally, I really enjoy this game because of the story it's telling. It's a side you never see in video games. Normally you're playing the hua hua soldier that is kicking in doors, shooting the bad guys, and doing good or bad things depending on your viewpoint. But in this game, you are basically everything that's happening off screen from your Call of Duties and your Battlefields. You're playing as civilians that have been displaced and have come together to try and just survive. The game is played in two phases. Your first phase is your daytime phase. It's going to be when you're doing stuff around the house, because it's not safe to go out during the day because there's firefights and everything. Night is spent with one person going and trying to scavenge from nearby buildings, meeting up with people to try and trade, and you're just trying to survive for as long as you possibly can. So we start our game with 3 people. When the Civil War broke out, many people thought it would only last a few weeks. It's been years since the government military surrounded the rebels in the capital, cutting off all supply lines. The civilian population trapped in the city are suffering from hunger, disease, and shelling. Katya met both Pavel and Bruno before the war. She used to be a reporter while Bruno had his own television cooking show. Pavel was a star of the local football team. Katya even interviewed him once. Now they meet in dramatically different circumstances, looking for food and shelter. So, just by that little intro, you can kind of see that each person's going to have a different set of skills. Katya is going to be better at bargaining with people, Bruno is a better cook, and Pavel is a good runner. Now the benefit of him being a good runner is he is going to, when we're scouting or scavenging, he's going to be able to get out of Dodge quicker if he has to. Now what we're doing right now is everybody just arrived here, so we're pulling apart. We're pulling apart everything to try and see if we can find anything that's going to be usable. And each of these icons basically shows you a different type of interaction. Like, these are piles. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually try and have them dig out those piles with their hands. Even though, yes, it would be better if they had a shovel or something. But if we can make enough room, we'll actually be able to start expanding and building different types of workshops to ease our stay in this bombed out building. It's kind of rough so far. We've only got that one bit of food. It'd be really nice if we could get more food, but we'll actually hold off having anybody eat today just because if we can just keep everybody kind of like on the same food schedule and make life a little bit easier, it will lead to like peaks and bottoms, peaks and valleys, if you will, to our actual supply. But in the end, I think it'll be for the better. Also, something I hadn't touched on yet was the general art style really lends itself to the feeling of it invokes the sad, heavy emotions, and in the state of mind you should be in this kind of game. I feel like it's a good takeaway, or sorry, not takeaway, but it's a good divergence from the feeling of, hey, we should always we should always enjoy games in the sense that they should make us feel happy, or they should make us laugh, or they should make us smile, or they should make us feel strong. Uh, this War of Mine does a really good job of kind of making you feel helpless in a sense, because there's nothing, you are left to the whim of what you can find, and you're left to the whim of the other people you're going to be running into. Because not everybody's going to be a good person. Not everybody's going to want to help you. People are going to come and try and steal your shit. Because it is very much survival of the fittest. And I know I've learned a lot about myself playing games like this, because you learn, if you're able to put yourself in the people's shoes, in the character's shoes, you learn a lot about yourself. Of, would I, in this situation, would I send that mom and child away when they come to my door starving? Would I steal from this old man? You start to weigh your own survival and survival of your friends against your morals. And if anybody was actually going to watch this and then go and try and play, I would highly recommend that you play from that perspective. That this is you and your friends. This is not just 3 computer-generated people in a video game. Very much like, I forgot what the first-person shooter was, The Line. Spec Ops The Line. It's a game that makes you think if you allow it to. Like, yeah, you can just run around and mini-game and be like, hey, I got further. But the greatest takeaway, and like what really lends a lot of video games to being a form of art, is allowing you to see the world through somebody else's perspective. But we got people, we're digging up these piles, and we're gonna be able to get to these last couple of closets and see what we can actually end up with. We have a lot of building supplies, which is nice. We need more picks, so let's see if we can actually... We're actually going to run out of time, it looks like, before our first night cycle. Let's see if we can actually... I actually want to get that up and running. Just because if we can build a couple of picks, it'd be nice. So Pavel, he has a good pack weight here. He can carry out 12 items as opposed to like Bruno, who can only get 10. We're actually gonna have Bruno sleep in the bed, with Katya just sleeping in the general area, and we're gonna have Pavel actually go out to... Let's look at some of these different places we can go. Old Town. The Old Town used to be the crucible of cultures, with its distinct mix of architectural styles and many great Ganzi and Vinci restaurants and pubs. Military positions in the overlooking mountains that made it a dangerous place now, but if we take risks, we might be able to find supplies there. So, there's weapons and materials and stuff. Ideally, right now, we want to find food. So, like, this place has lots of food, a huge amount of materials and meds and everything. This is one of the very first places people looted while fleeing the city. There have been a few hour-long ceasefire. Oh, there had been a few hour-long ceasefire intended to clean the whole area from civilians. Clear. I'm having a hard time reading. But it was broken. Many people died. Though neither side claimed responsibility to this day, despite heavy shelling of the whole district, the station is in surprisingly decent shape. It may have been looted, but it might still be worth checking out. I'm actually going to go to that gas station. It's not too far away. And gas stations have a lot of just random stuff that may be useful to have. So observation by Pavel here is that they apparently siphoned all the gas out, because or otherwise this would have exploded. Right now I'm just gonna be really conservative in what I actually gather. ideally I want to be pulling out meds and food more so than like building materials and stuff. Oh, that's really gonna kill my ability. Not having that not having the shovel is really gonna slow this down, but if I can get in there. Looks like there's a lot of these little spots that we can find worthwhile items. It kind of puts a lot of things in perspective for a lot of people that haven't actually been in situations where you've been close to war, be it on either side. Few people actually understand just how commonplace the destruction becomes. Like burnt out vehicles, all this cinder and garbage that's just acclimating. It's become surprisingly normal part of life. I know when I was overseas, when we would go out, you would be able to look and see this town, and or like in Mosul where you can actually look and you can almost imagine, 20, 30 years ago when it could have easily just been a city in the States or somewhere in Europe where they had all the necessities. They had flowing water, they had electricity. You could just go down to the shop and pick something up. But because of all of the destruction, those basic things that we take for granted on a daily basis, the fact that I can go and the shit and it not be stuck in the house with me, or like I don't have to go outside and dig a hole. If I'm thirsty, I can go to the faucet and easily get something to drink. Like these are things that like we take for granted, but people in these situations, they have to live with that. There's a note under the table, not actually hidden, but it could be easily missed. From the style of handwriting, you can tell it was written by a woman in a hurry. Moros, I'm sorry. I'm really scared. I could wait no longer. I hid some jewelry inside the books. Look for them in the basement. Inside the carton boxes behind the barred door. Use it. Stay alive, please. God bless you. I'm sorry. So this is an example of we have someone who wasn't with their loved one when shit hit the fan, and she tried to sit here and wait for him, but she just couldn't anymore. Looters coming in, rebel soldiers, even loyalist soldiers, and she just had to leave, but she didn't want to leave him alone. This poor man had been caught by the shelling. What was he doing here? Probably the same thing we were doing, just trying to survive, trying to gather anything to make life livable. Trying to even do something as simple as find food, find medicine for a sick daughter or a sick wife. It's hard to think that this stuff should go onto the roof. These are people who are trying to eke out a life amidst shelling and amidst just a civil war. And in America, the Civil War is one of our bloodiest wars. And the Civil Wars are something that are, I don't want to say common in other parts of the world, but there are many civil wars going on at this very moment in different countries. And you have brother against brother tearing each other apart. Sadly, it looks like we're kind of bust on food, which is not the best option. I'm really trying to figure out how to get into that basement. Can't really oh. There's a big ass ladder right here. Maybe there'll be something worthwhile down here. If I had a hacksaw, I could probably cut through there. So that's something to keep in mind for maybe later. But as it stands, we're short on food. We got, oh, thank God. So I get for opening my mouth saying that we're short on food. We'll take all that water though. Okay, so we're kind of good. So if I were able to get a saw blade, I can cut through there. So when we get a little bit further and we get a little bit more settled, we may be able to make good getting that, getting what's behind those bars. But Pavel was able to get back. We're going to get a little screen explaining what happened, because something may have happened while Pavel was gone and all of our attention was on him. He ends up returning at the beginning of the next day. And let's just hope that nobody fucked with us in the night. Okay, so the night was relatively calm. We end up getting a lot of stuff, which is good. It'll set us up for success in the next coming days. I'll be able to use the sugar and water to make some moonshine, really good for trading. In situations like this, people really want to get away from the reality of it. So liquor is going to be a good seller. Got some extra food, so we're going to be able to eat well. I'll probably set up something during this next second day. But I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to keep each episode to a single day. I will catch you guys later. If you like the video, hit it up with a like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. And if there's anything you want to see me do, or if I'm doing something that just drives you fucking bonkers, drop me a comment. I'll see what I can do. Until next time, though, I'll catch you guys later.